What if everything you've been taught about attraction is a lie? Today, we're not talking about your typical dating advice. We are opening a book of forbidden knowledge, a psychological framework so controversial, it's only whispered about in the dark. Let's see what it has to say. Now, that's not me warning you, that's a direct quote from the source itself. It's basically a promise that we're about to leave the world of conventional wisdom way, way behind. So yeah, you've been warned. So let's get right to it. What is the one thing that will instantly kill any chance of attraction? According to this text, it's not what you think. It's a single fatal flaw, a silent killer of desire that most men radiate without even realizing it.
The word is neediness, but forget being clingy. This goes so much deeper. It's about something called subcommunication. You know, the message underneath your words. You text her, "Good morning." Well, the subcommunication might be, "I need your attention just to start my day." And that, according to this framework, is the poison.
And here it is, the core philosophy, stated as bluntly as humanly possible. The argument here? That caring less is the actual key. That your emotional investment is a liability. It's a total reversal of everything we're taught about how to connect with someone. But what if it's true?
Just look at this chart. It's pretty stark, right? Down at the bottom, you have your investment, and on the side, her attraction. Notice what happens. When your investment is high, you're texting all the time, buying gifts, pouring in emotion, her attraction absolutely plummets. But when your investment is low, her attraction just soars. It's a perfect inverse relationship. This slide just lays it all out. You've got two paths. On the left, you've got the needy man. He's trying so hard to prove he's good enough. But on the right, you have the zero neediness man. He already knows he's good enough, and his actions are all about communicating that she needs to prove herself to him. See the difference? It's not about what you do, it's the mindset behind it. One begs for validation, the other is the one giving it.
Okay, I know what you might be thinking. This all sounds, well, manipulative, doesn't it? The book's defense, it claims this isn't manipulation. It's just biology. It argues this whole framework is hardwired deep into our DNA, a kind of primal code that dictates who we're drawn to. Let's see the evidence it presents.
Attraction isn't a choice. Just let that sink in for a second. It's presented as a law of nature, just like gravity. You can't reason someone into falling for you. It's a switch in the brain, a biological trigger. So the goal isn't to persuade, it's to find the right key for the lock. The text asks us to imagine our ancestors for a minute. It argues that a woman's brain is still running this ancient software, constantly scanning for one thing: survival value. It's not about your nice car. It's about whether your behavior signals dominance, mental strength, and the power to protect. These are the traits that have echoed through millennia. So, the age-old question, why do jerks always seem to win? Well, this slide breaks down their power. Look at these points. Denying her demands isn't really about being mean. It subcommunicates mental strength. Ignoring her implies that she isn't good enough for him, completely flipping the script. It's a masterclass in psychological framing where every negative action is actually a power move. Now, building on that idea of perceived value, the text introduces its first major psychological tool. This is framed as a secret weapon, something for manufacturing desire before you've even said a single word. The first weapon is called preselection. Think of it like a popular restaurant that has a long line out the door. That line itself tells you the food inside must be good, right? The same principle the book argues applies to men. If other attractive women have already approved of him, he's instantly seen as a high-value, pre-vetted choice. And if you think that's just a theory, the text points to a study. Check this out. They showed women a photo of a man alone, and he got a baseline attraction reading. Then, they showed them the exact same man, but this time with a picture of a smiling woman next to him. His attractiveness rating jumped significantly. Think about that. Nothing about him changed, only the perception of female approval.
So the book provides a three-step formula to basically engineer this effect. Step 1, create the illusion of abundance. Step 2, use social media as your stage to showcase this social proof. And step 3, internalize the vibe. Act like a man who has endless options. And eventually, the world starts to believe it too.
This brings us to the next core psychological tool, and this one is all about weaponizing the concept of investment. This is where the framework gets really strategic. Okay, so the theory is clear. She's supposed to be the one chasing. But how do you actually make that happen? How do you flip that switch in her mind and go from being the pursuer to being the prize?
First, let's just look at the mistake one more time. Your investment goes up, her attraction goes down. As you can see on this chart, it's a downward spiral. The book calls this the nice guy trap, and it's a direct path to the friend zone.
But now, watch this. The real equation is the exact opposite. As her investment in you increases, so does her attraction. They rise together. The more she puts in, the more she wants you. This is the fundamental secret.
And this is the lesson in one sentence. Your focus should never be on proving your own worth. The entire game is about tipping the scales, getting her to invest her time, her energy, her emotions into you. That is what creates value in her mind.
All right, so we've got the theory. Now for the tactics. This final section is basically the how-to manual, the specific techniques designed to put all these psychological principles into action. Two main tools are offered for creating tension. First, push-pull. You give a compliment, then a playful tease. You show interest, then you pull away. The goal is this kind of emotional whiplash, an addictive roller coaster she can't get off of. Second, chase framing. No matter what she does, you frame it as if she's the one chasing you. Next up is the escalation ladder, a 4-step process for physical touch. The psychology here is pretty simple. You normalize contact. You start small and non-sexual, like you see in step 1. Each step makes the next one feel less intrusive, less of a big deal. By the time you get to step 4, a kiss feels like the natural conclusion, not some sudden, jarring move. And finally, the book presents a tactic it calls plausible deniability. The goal here, as stated in the text, is to overcome her last-minute resistance by giving her an excuse. You don't invite her over for sex. You invite her over to listen to music. It completely reframes the situation, allowing things to just happen. We end where we began, with a quote that just wraps up this entire worldview. Women never want to be the prize. Rather, they want you to be the prize. It's a philosophy built on inversion, on power dynamics, and on the belief that attraction isn't something you find, it's something you engineer. And that leaves us with a final, pretty unsettling question. Is attraction a feeling, or is it just a game?